Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Today's topic is stress management. What is stress management? Stress management means to stress management is a wide spectrum of techniques and psychotherapies that aimed at controlling a person's level of stress, especially chronic stress, vary for the purpose and motive of improving everyday functioning. In order to understand, we must be aware of health. What is health? Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट के लिए हेल्थ से मुराद किसी भी इंडिविजुअल के मेंटली एंड बिहेवियर और उसकी डेवलपमेंट नॉर्मल होना एंड हिज learning abilities must be functioning betterly. That person for a psychologist is a healthy person. Then, what is stress? It is defined by HSILAB non-specific response uh, that may be resulted from a variety of different kinds of stimuli. Such stimuli cause abnormalities in the mental and physical function of an individual. Stress is actually a physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension. There are majorly two types of stress. The stress may be due to external factors or due to internal factors. The external factors causing stress may be an environmental or psychological or social situations, and the internal may be illness of the individual or from the medical procedure. What does it mean? It means that a person taking a medical treatment may be psychologically stressed due to the effect of drugs, and the next stress can initiate the fight or flight response, a complex reaction of neurologic and endocrinologic system. Actually, in the stress situation, our uh, adrenaline hormone is secreted, the hormone that causes uh, heartbeat increase in heartbeat, and there is an increase in breathing rate, and all the situations related with fight and flight are activated by the adrenaline hormone. Thus, the prolonged uh, stress may cause maybe the cause of heart attack, or maybe there may be the cause of diabetes, because the adrenaline hormone increases the glucose availability. uh, Types of stress. In the types of stress, there appear positive and negative events. The one is the distress, and the second is eustress. Distress, known as a bad stress, for example, death of beloved one or loss in the business. Eustress, known as good stress, for example, getting married. The effect of stress on our mental health, on our body, is known as strain. The prolonged impact of stress on the system is known as strain. Related with the stress is the term stressor. stressor is actually the stimuli or the factor that is causing stress. The stimuli proceeding or participating a change that such change that cause mental and physical disturbance in our body. It may be external or internal. The internal stressors include fear or guilt, and the external stressors include trauma or any pressure. Stressor by category may be primary or a secondary stressor. Primary stressors related to specific event and these triggers the stress response. Secondary stressor maintain the stress response. For example, that is worrying. Then there are there are stressors. Stressors may be of following types. The types of stressors are physiological, biochemical, behavioral, emotional, and cognitive. In, in we have psychological stressors. This type of stress deals with cognitive and emotional stress. The triggers include self-criticism, panic attack, anxiety, grief, and anger or fear, etc. Then next we have psycho psychological stressor. Next is behavioral stressor. Behavioral are the stressors that are related to our behavior. Stressors include sleeping disturbance, use of alcohol, drugs, and aggression, etc., that affect our behavior. And thus, we have emotional stressors that affect our emotions. These include depression, anxiety, irritability, crying, suicide, loss of humor, or worrying. The next, the stressor is related with our cognitive abilities, mean our learning abilities and our abilities of making a decision. And the uh, causing agents include lack of concentration and negative thoughts and poor memory, etc. These are the results of cognitive stressor. In biochemical stress, we feel increased metabolic rate, alerted hormone level, and alerted endorphin level, especially endorphin. By in general adaptation syndrome, the three stages of stress are explained. One is alarm, the next is resistance, and the third one is exertion. Alarm or mobilization stage includes the awareness of stress and activation of biological sympathetic nervous system, and the resistance stage is related with the preparation to fight, in which the body fight against the stress. And in exhaustion stage, the sufferer is worn out, all resources are exhausted, and the effects include illness, irritability, and he cannot concentrate, and the he is disoriented. Then next we have interventions for facing the stress. That or there are three interventions for facing the stress, named as primary
interventions, secondary and tertiary interventions. The primary interventions are related with the prevention, and the secondary one include the coping with the stress, and the tertiary interventions refers to stress management, in which the person react to the stress. In primary interventions, the basic key is stress reduction, in which the person tries to reduce the stress, and it refers to eliminating the source of stress by making changes or taking action. For example, getting a tutor if you are failing math. Mean any way is adapted which may reduce the stress. The strategies may include planning and time management, person organization, and leaving the job that is causing stress, and participatory action research and physical setting to make such a physical setting which may uh, reduce the stress. Next, we have secondary interventions, which refers to coping with the stress. Coping is an adaptation to stress. It is effort to control, reduce, or learn to tolerate the stress. And stress coping may be problem focused or emotion focused. Problem focused coping refers to deal with the stressor. It is an attempt to modify or the stressful problem or source of the stress. And the emotional focused coping refers to looking at the brighter side. It is the method of managing emotion in the face of stress, seeking to the change the way they feel or perceive the problem. Actually, the problem focused style of coping involves addressing the problem situation by taking acting and planning or thinking of ways to evolve the problem. And in emotion focused coping style, we express the feelings or engage in the emotional release activities such as exercising or participating or practicing meditation. Tertiary interventions that refers to stress management that are reactive in action, may be industrial focused or organizational focused. In industrial focused, the actions may be employees assignment, assistance program, and mindfulness, biofeedback, or meditation or deep breathing, sleep, or taking rest, or role analysis. At organization level, the occupational health interventions, and there may be the flexibility in work arrangement and diversity programs. Healthcare management policies may be applied to react against the stress management to dissolve the and react to the stress. This was all about the stress management, and thank you Allah Hafiz for watch and thank you for watching videos. Allah Hafiz.